Who's
Hello.
who's
Yep.
who's the GM Holdings?
GM Holdings. Oh, hi. You're muted. We can't hear you.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, we're just giving everyone a couple extra minutes just to sign on this morning. So we'll probably start about 2 after 9 here. We'll give everybody another 2 minutes to kind of get on here and kind of go over some CE and some buyer needs and seller needs and kind of go over a few things.
Okay.
Sorry, I just didn't know if GM Holdings was like a special guest speaker from somewhere or something. So that's all I was like, who are you? So
Yeah, my
morning.
bad. My bad. Mm.
Very good. So I think we'll have a few more hop on as we go here, but I'm gonna just get started here. So how's everyone doing? Do we have any new upcoming listings that anybody wants to talk about, or any buyer needs anybody wants to talk about?
I do want to talk about the CE classes. What's the name?
The CE shop?
No, there's a company that gives out free CE classes. I just want everybody to know. It's an inspection company, Heartland Inspections, and they've been giving out probably at least 5 classes, and they're worth like 1 credit each. So if people are looking to save money, Heartland Inspections. So I just want to let you know. And I just wondering if there's any other companies that give out free CE classes, if anybody else knows.
Yep, so I do have a couple of things that I was going to bring up about those. There is some free and then reduced price through like SPAR and MNAR, so the Minnesota Area Association of Realtors. I know they have different criterias and everything, and I know we have the different associations all over, like the St. Cloud area realtors, and then I think there's one up in Duluth. So I would just check with your local area associations as well, because typically those I know the SPAR ones, a lot of them are in person for free, but I know the MNAR also has a lot of reduced price ones as well. So I want to say there was another inspections that we do the in-class CE as well. So we're going to try to get them in here again as well soon.
Okay, that would be great. Yeah, I don't belong to SPAR, but okay.
If you belong to SCAR, they do in person. Most of the in person ones, I should say, most of the free classes are in person. When there was COVID, they did a lot of online ones that were free as well, but you have to be a member.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I would just check your local association page, and then they should have CE, like a CE link, and then they would have whatever they have offering, maybe some free ones and stuff like that as well.
Do you know the website for the Heartland inspections?
Let's see.
I'm
Even
pulling
if you post it into the messages at some point or the chat.
Okay.
I just copy it and stuff, but Thank
Okay.
you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had just pulled up their website as well. I was trying to, in the background, pull up their continuing education, and I was going to try to post that here.
They had one yesterday for 1.5 hours CE credit, and they have one coming up the week of, I think, next week, 15th or 16th.
That's the Heartland one.
Heartland one, yeah.
Thanks.
I'm just grabbing the link now and putting it in the chat there for you.
If anybody is a member of SCAR on the 25th, they have a factory built housing and then appraisal versus reconsideration of value that they're doing. I normally get more than enough CE and stuff, but I just like ones that I'm kind of interested in to take as well. Those are both free. So yeah, but
Yeah,
they're in
thank you.
person.
I'm just trying to pull it up here. 1 second.
Yeah. Continuing Education Express, they have like 50% off, which is going to expire soon.
I have not heard of that one. What was that one?
It is called Continuing Education Express.
Okay, yeah, I haven't heard of that one. If you could maybe post the link in the chat. Otherwise, the CE shop is typically what we normally use. Pretty much if you go to our National Realty Guild page, and then you log into Suite Assist, it'll bring you to Suite Assist, and you can actually go to the continuing education, and it brings you right to our page on the CE shop, which if you have any prospective people that want to join you or join under you or are thinking of getting their license, this is a great place to go because they'll actually get a discount on the introductory packages, and they would also be able to take advantage of those extra emails that get sent out where there's 40 or 50% off. So I would just keep an eye out on your emails for those emails that Jeremy sends out about the CE. And then they also have the continuing education. So it's really easy to pick and choose classes on here. I mean, some of them are as low as $9. So there's so many different options on here, and I like it because it's kind of a go at your own pace. So if you're partially through one of them, like I'll bring up my courses right now. And I was logged in, hold on. And so it'll just leave it open for you. So I still have a few things to do on my fundamentals of commercial real estate. So then I can just open the course and keep going from where I am. Otherwise, a nice thing is if they do expire, some of them have the option to purchase an extension for just an extra like $25 for an extra 30 days. So that's really nice as well. So if you purchased it under one of the sales and maybe didn't get it done in time or kind of put it off, you can always look to see if there's the purchase and extension. And otherwise, they do put on there when they reported it to the commerce. So if you ever needed to re-download your certificates, everything that you've ever done is all in one place. And that's kind of the benefit that I like about it. Otherwise, they do have, I'm a member of SPAR, so if you go to your local agency, typically they have like events in their calendar. So this is everything that's kind of going on with them. You can break it down to meetings, classes, upcoming classes that you've registered for. So when you do the breakdown, it kind of actually gives you just a list versus the calendar. So it's a nice feature. It tells you how many hours they're going to be. You do have to go into details specifically on this one. And the next one I'm going to show you is similar, but it does say, oh, this one's full. Hold on, let me find one that's, but it'll say that it's in person or if it's online.
So there is no easy way to search for the free ones, correct? I'm just making sure.
No.
Yep.
I mean,
I-
a lot of, that's the book club. There's not really on these ones, it's not as easy. So mold. Let's see if that one. So that's a in-person at SPAR, but it's free. So, like a lot of the local association ones, they throw more free ones than like MNAR. So I also have that one open as well. So that's our Minnesota area of realtors. And they have smart homes. So they have a 3.5 or 3 hour class for $30 for MNAR members. Otherwise, non-members are $40. So it's a reduced rate on some of these, but they have a few different ones that go. They had first-time home buyers, kind of one yesterday. I think they have counseling sellers next Monday. So just kind of using your associations and the benefits that they have. I don't think that's actually discussed as much as how much you actually get from your local associations and your state associations as well.
I put a comment in the chat. It's Marge.
Hey.
Training Cove has audio, but I couldn't get it to autoplay on my iPad. So you had to like keep clicking the button forward. This is the
Okay.
first time I used it, but I read faster than it reads it. So at some point I'm just reading it quick through. But at least it, and then you get to the end and it's like you got to restudy for 20 minutes or whatever to make your time.
Yep.
So, do something else during but at least I was running into, because I used, what's the other one? The other big one we use in Minnesota?
The CE shop?
Not C shop, but what's the other big?
Yeah,
where you
Caspian,
go
is it?
Mac,
It's
starts with an
McKissick,
M.
right?
McKissick. And last year, I think I redid a class that I had already done in the last 2 years. So at least these were all they shouldn't be ones that run into what I've done before, if you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
it's not a repeat. Do you know how many hours you have to do to pick up Wisconsin?
So I think it's a 13-hour reciprocate. Let me pull it up I just did mine. Let me pull up my past courses here. It's a 13-hour equivalency for Wisconsin. I did it right on CE shop. It was super easy. I think I only actually had to do I think they actually counted the test in there because I think I only had to sit for 10.5 hours, but I went through it. So I would check out the one on CE shop. It was, I can't remember exactly how much it was, but it was fairly cheap, but I got it during one of the sales.
So you don't have to take a whole state class like you do for Minnesota when you have a license? Is that what you're
Because you
saying?
have a Minnesota license, it a lot of the stuff transfers over. So typically, for if you didn't have a Minnesota license and you wanted to get a Wisconsin license, it'd be a 72-hour course. Here, I'll share my screen. CE shop has always been super knowledgeable and like all of their answers are right there. I really like CE shop just because of the flexibility that it has. I haven't really tried any of the other ones, but just because all of the classes are basically in one spot. So if you go to the get your license in Wisconsin, so typically it'd be a 72-hour package, but you can also look at the 13-hour equivalency course. So if you have your, see here, I think it says down here. It says somewhere where if you have the certain
Yeah, I can look up stuff. That's just,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Thanks for letting me know about that.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that little.
Yeah, and so I mean,
Because-
and these are actually the 72-hour classes. So if you get post licensing, no. Yeah, so I think it would just be through there. The 13-hour equivalency is just $90.
Wow.
And that's our current code right now. And that's Jeremy, is that normally just 25% off? And then they do the extras throughout the month?
Yeah, actually, I was just waiting for the right time, but tomorrow would be the 35% off. So I'll be sending another blast email for everyone to take advantage of. So I'll do that later on. That way you'll be reminded of it. So again, it will be a one-day sale tomorrow. It's 35% off on all CE classes.
And remember, those CE classes, if you bought a bunch tomorrow, like say that all your 30 hours tomorrow, you can hold those. I think they last up to a year. Each class will say how long it's good, but most of them are good for a year. So you could bust out your 15 or however many you had left for this year, and then you can start doing those for the following year after that as well.
What else do we have to do to be able to sell or represent in Wisconsin? Is it just the continuing ed, or do we have to?
So
Yes.
then you'd have the continuing ed, and then you'd apply for your license over through their Pulse portal. It's all done online and you do it yourself. But if it's something you're interested in, you can always reach out to the admin team here, and we'd be able to get you started and let you know what you need to do.
Yeah, the Wisconsin one, I just got my Wisconsin license. The DSPS, the Department of the Wisconsin website's DSPS, but they have two websites. One, you upload stuff and it says you're all good, but then you got to go find another one, which details some other things that you need to do. It's kind of a convoluted setup. But a quick question on that. So I just got that. What kind of CE do I have to do to keep that Wisconsin license? Do you know, Amy?
So within, I specifically know CE Shop just because I've used it. So when you are doing your continuing education, just go for Minnesota here. When you finish, you can actually purchase additional, so we'll just do the fair housing, add to cart. I think it's through the checkout when you have to do no. I know there was somewhere in here where you can purchase, I think it's when you end. Let me just go back to my courses.
So you can purchase one course
Yep,
and it
so there
works
you
for
go.
both. Works. Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, so once you finish, you can purchase certificates for another state. So I did my selling influence and I wanted to get it for Minnesota is what I signed up for, but I wanted to also have it count towards my Wisconsin license. Does not look like this one would be available for Wisconsin.
Okay.
It also might be that I didn't have my Wisconsin license at that point, but I would think it would still show residential West Virginia. So as you can see,
Some of them
different
will apply and
ones,
some of them
yeah.
won't. Okay.
So you would just
Customer
have to
service
check
can
which
give you a
ones.
straight answer.
What's that?
Customer service can always give you a straight answer.
Customer service for who?
Well,
CE
for if you call CE Shop directly.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Thanks, Randy.
Yeah.
Hi, Randy. How are you?
Not too bad. Who was that?
It's Amy.
Oh, hey. Let's see. I'm gonna do a handful of things, or I almost need my video off. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just sitting here. I talked to a few places to try to coordinate something on Friday the 19th if anybody wants to get together. That's what I thought. I got a handful of people calling me about, cash for keys, upsies, and foreclosures. So I think we better, if anybody wants to get up to speed on that stuff, I think we're going to have to, well, Francis will be around anyways. So we're going to probably do something like next Friday afternoon for 5 hours. I'm just trying to figure out where.
Sounds great.
Yeah. We got about 14 people on here.
Yep.
Well, what is there an agenda?
Well, we kind of jumped right into CE. And then I was gonna go over any buyer needs, seller needs, any questions about anything.
Yeah.
I know I have my clients they're looking anywhere from Owatonna to basically St. Peter, and that whole area. They just got up to 325, but they're still looking. We can't find one that they like. So if anybody hears of anything down this way, well, let me know.
I don't know if you have access to RASM, but there's a couple agents here that have access to the MLS that comes out of Mankato.
Yeah, the RASM.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yep. It looks like Marge had a question.
Hey, I have a weird question and it's not our state. My son has been in this deal with a VA loan in Baltimore, Maryland, and the seller had to do work to make the deal close, and now he just wants to walk. He just doesn't want to do it. Just doesn't want to do it. Doesn't want, just is killing the deal. I just haven't ever been in that situation. Is it just a lawsuit? Because Taj
Yeah,
loses
it's a
earnest
lawsuit for a
money,
breach of contract.
but that's the only thing that can happen, huh? Because Taj
Yes.
would be losing his earnest money, but sellers don't put in earnest money, and it's seems like they should have to match earnest money, till the deal closes. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, so the buyers can sue the seller for a breach of contract and try to get damages, but they have to pay an attorney to do all that stuff.
Right, exactly. It's bizarre. I told him
Well,
he'll
small
probably
claims
come out
court's
better
pretty
with
cheap.
something else. What?
Yeah, small claims court is pretty cheap.
Right. But
You still gotta
what
do
a
it,
pain
though.
in the ass,
Yeah.
Anyway, he has 2 more
Yeah.
months on his lease, and I said, just keep looking too.
Yeah, Liz Reynolds just had the same situation, and the sellers wouldn't do what they were supposed to in the PA. I mean, that's what it boils down to. It's just the only thing you can do is sue for a breach,
Okay.
or walk away.
Right. Well,
stinky,
at
like
least
you're
get his
saying.
money back for his $500 inspection and $400 whatever appraisal. That's not cheap.
Do we
Hey,
have
is anybody?
Mhm.
I was gonna, regarding this pre-foreclosure stuff, is there anybody on the phone that claims to be kind of an expert on short sales?
Yes, hand it off, do a referral to somebody who does short sales only, because they're a horrible pain in the ass.
Why are you asking, Randy?
Because we're gonna have some of that stuff go on, and I think it's probably top of mind and something that we should train. Back in 2008, I wrote a continuing education class on it. I'm just not interested in taking it on personally.
I would love to. I'm not an expert, but I'd love to know more about it.
So I think that's what I'm going to do when Amy has a new agent orientation class on the 19th, Friday. Then I'll probably start off with a little pre-foreclosure rundown on some processes, and then we'll do that. And then we'll probably have some appetizers and some food somewhere or something, some games. I'm trying to decide, because Cowboy Jacks has Bloomington's kind of central because it's right on 35W, and they've got a room that we've had company events in the past, and then we can just walk out into the place for some apps and some whatever. But Minnetonka has this awesome area we can go downstairs in the training room. And then they've got this back area where we can open up these walls or garage doors. And then there's foosball, and we can play like, what do you call it, cornhole, and there's a fire pit and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's back on a little water thing at one of our offices. So I'm trying to decide which one to utilize, because Minnetonka's so far to the west, you know. And it's just, you can't do everything for everybody, so they'll figure out a location.
Yeah, we'd either be doing it at the Minnetonka, and then we'd be doing the class right before, and then whoever didn't need the class would just show up after. Otherwise, we'd meet for maybe 2-3 hours at the St. Louis Park location, and then go down to Cowboy Jack's after that.
I'll look if I have any notes on who did those short sales, because I never delete enough emails. And
Well,
because it really is a lot of work.
Yeah, if I dig into the whole company, I got to remember we got a handful of people that know how to do them. Like I said, I wrote this continuing education in 2008, so I taught hundreds of agents how to do them. So somebody can just follow the.
I started in
too.
08. There was so many short sales that never closed. You know, I mean, it was hard to get a short sale closed. Boy.
Yeah. So yeah, one time after that class, all of a sudden we had agents from several companies dropping off their files to us. So we kind of had a system, and
so you want to
pretty
become
successful
the
at it.
expert? I mean, because my recollection is there's some title company. I mean, a title company, because it's freaking paperwork, which agents are never good at. So
I am the expert. I just don't have time to do it, and I don't want to get into that thing. So I can teach you guys what to do. But I'm saying that you could probably, team up with like a title company or one of these attorneys that I used to use. I'll see if they're still doing this stuff. But I got 4 agents in the last week and a half asking me how to do these.
Right. So that's what I'm
So
saying.
I'm going to tell everybody
you need to
at
have
once.
somebody who's an expert instead of us learning how, because it's just learning paperwork. Like, work with the
It's
seller.
more of, Marge, I think it's more of that whoever wants to learn, we're going to hold a class. Whoever doesn't want to learn about it can then get a list of people within our company that are available to do that. Or if one does come up, you can always just post it online on our Agent Connect portal and say, hey, I have a short sale. I need her out.
Right, but what
or
I'm
how
saying
to
is,
how to approach them in the first place is probably key, because then you engage somebody.
Right. I think that it's best that we can be able to be seen as experts on dealing with sellers, and then having the right people in place to actually manage the paperwork, because it probably hasn't gotten any easier. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Some guys, like what I've been seeing, they're like, well, how do I even approach somebody? So, big thing on that is I said, well, first of all, you're a licensed agent. So in 2012, we kind of stopped doing them because the Department of Commerce started cracking down on, how ethical it is to engage with somebody and then try to get their equity, because that's one of the strategies of doing them.
And that's not unethical, because so many people, I lost my house, and if I would have done a short sale way before, we could have come out okay. But by the time we were short selling, the city wanted the land, and my $500,000 house got sold for $166,000 to the city, and we were foreclosed first. I mean, they knew what was coming down the pipeline.
Yeah. If anybody does represent somebody in a short sale, it's best sometimes to go the facilitator route and not sign a representation, because that way, there's some other income producing possibilities when you're involved in one. And so as a facilitator, you can go down that avenue if you're engaged with them to sell the house. Is anybody interested in hearing what I'm saying? Because I could give you a quick.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, so
just a quick
when you got somebody that's behind on their payments, there's ways to find out, because it's basically kind of making a vertical market, right? It's targeted.
Oh, Brandy, we lost you.
He's on mute.
Yep, looks like it muted. Randy, we lost you.
See, he's just faking. He's leaving us.
I think
in
something
suspense.
happened with his phone there.
Amy, while we wait for Andy, I do have a question. I heard Andy saying that Randy saying that new agent orientation. What is that? And I am a new agent. Would I be invited to? If
Yep.
yes, then how do I get the notifications?
Yep. So Jeremy will be sending out an email later today with the link to sign up, and we're just gonna make sure we have the location nailed down, and then that email will go out, and then you can sign up, and then that'll kind of go over what you're gonna be doing, and we're gonna be sending it out to all the new agents that have joined within the last couple months.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. I think Randy might be back. He unmuted, so I don't know. I think I saw that there was some low bandwidth, so he might not have the best service going on right now. Did we have any other questions while we're waiting for him to get situated back in here?
Just a couple of buyer needs if anyone has potential off-market property. So I mean, I don't know how active everyone is on the call, but the market's pretty brutal right now.
Oh.
So like I've got buyers looking in like Shoreview, Arden Hills area, anything up to $1 million. We're getting outbid on everything by 60 grand. Anything like that Como Park, Roseville area, super competitive. I've got cash buyers that are waiving everything and getting losing out. And then anything in just like South Minneapolis, St. Paul is really hard. The only other thing I've got, I'm looking for a commercial property, specifically like office property in St. Paul. We've seen a couple, but we need more parking. But if anyone has any leads on kind of office space with parking, I think they'll probably pay whatever it's worth. So,
are they trying to for leasing out or for a particular business to move in completely?
A particular business to move in completely. I think they prefer to buy it. I'm in an office building. I have an office in a building that recently got taken over by this investor group. Mm-hmm. And it's like empty. I mean, and I wonder if they would, it's that triple building. I should find your Andrew. I'll email you after this. Yeah, maybe
see, because you might want to reach out, like there might be a situation partial.
Yep.
So I'll send you info.
Yeah, okay, no, that'd be awesome. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
I have a three bedroom, 2-bath house in South Minneapolis that's looking to come on the market soon. There's a little bit of work that needs to be done, and the sellers have kind of a unique situation where we want to get it on the market for the end of the spring market here, but they actually can't move until August 12th or something because of jobs. They have to relocate to Maine, and they have a 3-year-old. So right now I'm just trying to see if anybody's interested in an off-market opportunity. They bought the house with me a few years ago, and they bought it with an in-home repair loan. And so they've done a lot of work, and a lot of work has been done by a professional. And that's it's 3141 Oakland. So if anybody has a buyer for that, let me know.
Yeah.
That's only a couple months away, really.
Yeah. And
I know we were trying to get it on the market, though. We should be ready for photographs by the 15th, and then we were going to do a little coming soon teaser and then put it on by the end of May. But I know interest rates are on the rise, and I just wanted to try and make it the best situation for the easiest for a buyer, kind of a win-win-win all around, by trying to get it on sooner rather than later, and hopefully do either an extended closing date or maybe a rent back situation, something like that.
So I would say, I mean, I'd be interested in seeing it, but I will tell you the market is so competitive. I think you can easily get a rent back option. So we just did that for sellers this weekend. I think I had 18 offers.
and we essentially chose an offer that closed as fast as possible just to give the seller reassurance that it's closed, and then they rented it back. And I bought one this weekend that way too. I've been looking in South Minneapolis for some people. There was one home, and this is a bit of extreme, but I mean, it speaks to the strength of the market there. It had 40 offers on it. So I think you could easily put that sucker on the market, and if it's priced right, you're going to have multiple offers, and someone's would be more than happy to do a short rent back.
Yeah, and I'm kind of confused on how to price it right, because they've done a lot of work to it, and South Minneapolis kind of varies almost block by block. Sometimes it's in central neighborhood, so it's not too far away from Powderhorn Park. And it's got a 2-car garage, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, like I said. One of the bathrooms has been remodeled, the second one hasn't been. And it's not like it's in bad shape, it's just kind of like cosmetically could use some updates. So there's room for whoever to buy it to grow some equity. Also, I think all of the windows in the house are original, and some of them have been painted shut. So they're okay as far as like in the winter, it doesn't get too cold in there, but that's just a big thing that would eventually need to be done.
I'm pretty convinced, especially in that area, as long as you price it close to where it needs to be, the market's going to tell you what it's worth, right? So, like the home that we sold this weekend that had 18 offers on it. I mean, you see agents that brag they got 18 offers. I would wager to say we just put it on the market a little too low, right? I mean, that wasn't all on us and how great we can actually market a home. Whereas I've got another home I had to mark down, and it's because it's a little too high. So I can just tell you that the market's pretty crazy right now. There's just not enough homes on the market. So I think you could probably price fairly aggressively, and you'll have plenty of interest. And
Yeah,
it doesn't sell. If it does not sell in that, you're definitely overpriced. I mean, there's just so many buyers. I can't find a home right now in that area.
Yeah, they would like to get like somewhere in the range of 350 for it. But any advice, or if anybody could help me price it out. I'm just having a little bit of trouble with that, because when they bought it for 180 with an in-home repair loan, and so their tax assessed value kind of reflects that lower cost.
That doesn't matter though anymore. I mean,
Right.
that doesn't matter when there's all that work that's done, and you can even change that on Zillow. And update it so it reflects it. I sold a house in South Minneapolis for $312 a couple of years ago, and I thought, oh my God, I can't even believe it's this high. Now I saw somebody from NRG put one on for $450, and it wasn't even as nice of a house, and it's just in that area off of Iowa, but near the light rail, right? I don't know that that's sold yet, but I'm shocked at the prices in South Minneapolis for little tiny homes.
Yeah.
Is North Minneapolis doing that well at all, or is that
not at all?
North Minneapolis though has its own issues to cause that to be a problem.
Right.
I don't know the North Minneapolis as well.
But all the wholesalers who have North Minneapolis rentals are flying off the shelves for wholesalers. So off market for rentals, they don't stay. So people still want to own there to be renting, but maybe not ownership as much. But Mary Ann, sorry, this is Liz. I jumped on. You can just send me an email if you want, and you and I can set up a Zoom chat, and I'll walk you through one by one. You and me one-on-one. I don't mind sharing what I might have insight. It's not the right answer necessarily, but I don't mind sharing some insight if you want to talk about it. But
yeah,
I do second what Andrew said. The market is exactly going to tell you what it's worth. So people who are like, oh, I don't want to but if your client says they want 350, do not put it on the market at exactly 350. Am I right, everybody? Like if you think you can get multiple offers, I'd go like at least $5,000 under. Don't like, sometimes if you put it at the number they say they want, I don't know. I mean, that's a blanket statement. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that as a blanket, but you know what I mean? But I'm just saying that, like,
I mean, my last listing, I was able to price accordingly. We sold it in 2 days for $30,000 over. So I understand the strategy part of it. It's just that,
I like being on
it's
those
just
breaks.
this particular area of South Minneapolis, and South Minneapolis in general, I think just it's a little bit hard for me to know. I live in Northeast.
Sure,
I'm very familiar with what's going on in Northeast.
Yeah.
So
Well, I have a client who's looking in South Minneapolis, so I'm aware of that market really well, and I've sold a couple there.
oh great.
So I've sold both for buyers and sellers. But I mean, the one thing I think you're doing correctly though, is let the client guide you a bit on pricing, because then you have documentation that that's the pricing they wanted, rather than you forcing the issue of like the number of 350. And then later they're like, well, it didn't sell for 350. Then it was on you. If you have a conversation where the client is saying that's what they want to list for, you either have, yep, I agree, or I don't really love that number, but I'm here to support you. This is your house.
Yeah, and they are
So-
willing to do just a little bit of work to try and get that value. Most of the, like I said, they've done a lot of work already to the house, but there's issues like the basement. There was an original bathroom downstairs that has been like just capped off, and there's kind of a hole in the floor there, and the basement just looks really rough. And I'm just wondering, like, should I really encourage them to clean out the basement and at least get like a fresh coat of epoxy paint on the floor and like make that look a little bit nicer? Other than that bathroom zone just needs to stay for the next owners to kind of decide what they want to do with it. It's just like a little section.
Yeah, well, if you want, I'll talk to you about it.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
I'll send you what I did on a basement in North Minneapolis, right at the edge to, what's the next one? Brooklyn Center. And I literally, we just painted out the whole basement, and it did have a bath down there, very basic, but the back room that was storage, I'll send you before and after. I'll put it on the Facebook page, because I set it up as an office with some grimy cabinets were there. And I mean, we literally, the appraiser called and asked why that sold so high. Somebody who was selling, a month later. And because people wanted every inch of space, and that was during COVID, and people need an away room. And so it was your back little room for storage that was a cement block. But it's like, who doesn't want to have a gaming room or an office room or a place to get where you have to take a phone call? And it literally was just a storage room. And I think that it made all the difference to have that whole basement be painted white and bright. And I have a painter that's not, we just use him. He's really good, and he's in South Minneapolis. If you want somebody to come paint, he's not expensive and he does a good job.
Yeah, would you mind putting
Not for people that are in Woodbury or anything, but Jay's really does a nice job, and we just pay him. So I'll
Yeah,
send
could
you
you
his
put-
info.
Yeah, okay, put that
Yeah.
info in the chat or something.
He
Thank you.
likes to be close to home. Okay.
The one question I had for the group, has anyone been using Home Partners? I know some individuals at NRG
BlackRock?
done it. What's that?
BlackRock?
Sure,
That's who
yeah.
actually
And are
owns
they
them,
are
yeah.
they still buying places? I've got somebody that's moving here. They want to rent for a year. They're having a hard time finding rentals.
Oh,
I'd
They're buying
recommend
places,
recommend
but
Hope.
They're offering way over value right now. It's their strategy is to offer like 50 grand under value or something across the board. That's what Neil keeps telling me, because he's sold well over 100 of those things. And so he's having a really hard time for the last half a year because they're trying to go way under. I think they might have saw their old strategy not being as effective. So they're just not as easy to work with anymore.
Got it. Yeah, I don't
But
I
I
don't want
do
to
think,
go ahead, Sarah.
Andrew, I have a friend who that's how he did his deal in Arizona. He did Home Partners. It's Scott Jensen from Title Specialist. He used Home Partners for the first property that he had down in Arizona until he finally found where he actually wanted to live, and then he bought and was
Yeah.
able to walk away from that first lease. So for that kind of situation, I definitely think it's a good option.
Yeah, I think it's an amazing option. I just don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, right, to the clients and
Yeah.
basically say, hey, here's all these options, and then Home Partners goes and says, I'm not going to buy this house for what they're asking, kind of
They
thing.
they just redline. Basically, they get away with only buying in certain areas. It's all by school district and such.
Yeah.
But they have everything listed on their website, I think, as far as where they'll do that deal.
Yeah, they do. I guess my concern is what Randy mentioned, right? So, you know, if they say, yeah, it's a $300,000 house, this is what the rent is, and then Home Partners comes in and says, we'll give you $250 for it, that just,
Yeah.
I dealt with them before and they bought higher, you know, when nobody else would buy.
yeah.
But
Yeah, I
but
know,
they have
that's the
changed
thing.
tactics.
You should probably
They've-
validate what I said with them.
Yeah, I think their strategy 12 months ago is not their current strategy. They were making overpriced offers 12 months ago, but they're not doing it now.
Yeah.
I think, wasn't there a lady, Randy, who was on our team that like she legitimately wrote like over 7 offers with Home Partners and they just kept lowballing? The client was really disappointed. I
I'm
feel like
positive that
there's an
happened. I don't know who it was, but that's
yeah.
that's the
And
story Neil
somebody
keeps
on
telling
maybe
me too.
Neil's team, she was really frustrated by it.
That's exactly
Um,
what they do.
Yeah.
You know, I think people think that just because it's cash, people are going to roll over backwards for the cash, but not in, because I've got an investor that makes cash offers and we get beat all the time right now. Because, you know,
Yeah,
cash
money's
is
money.
great, but not if it's 10 grand under what the, you know, sellers will wait for 10 grand. They'll wait a month. They'll take a chance on a month versus like cash. And also Home Partners insist on an inspection. It's not cash without an inspection.
Yeah.
But yeah, Andrew, that's a tough one. I was trying to think though, you know, depending on what they want, there are local investors that will pretty much do like a Home Partners idea. They're just, you know, so maybe if you throw it out there to see if there's a local investor that wants a predetermined, would they be like over $2,000 rent?
Yeah, they're highly qualified. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, but I wonder if you just put it out to the universe and said, hey, anybody want to make an investment purchase with a qualified renter that wants to pay this much and live in this district?
Yeah.
There might be a local investor that's willing to do the purchase
Yeah,
and
that
do a
makes
Home Partners version of something. Because I think right now there's no shortage of tenants, you know, obviously, but there is a little bit more narrow amount of tenants at a certain price point.
At a certain price point, yeah, agreed.
So maybe
I
that
would-
would work for you.
I would throw it on Agent Connect and see who has referrals for you. Randy, it sounds like you're back on, or
In case anybody needs one, I have an off-market Golden Valley townhome. That's a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom for $220. Needs a little touch up with the carpeting. Could be an updated kitchen, has washer and dryer in the unit. N unit with a HOA that has a pool. HOA dues are about $300 a month though, might be $375 even. Golden Valley. And I just am taking over a prior lake listing where the agent priced it about 75,000 over what it should have been. So if anybody knows anybody who wants it's listed as a 2, but really it's all you have to do is slap up a wall and you got a really nice 3-bedroom with a 4th bedroom in the basement or like visitor space. And it's a really unique townhome that has an elevator in the 3-story unit itself. So in the townhome, there's an elevator inside.
yes, we've heard about this listing.
Well, I talked to the seller yesterday and the seller's willing to drop the price pretty drastically. So
Perfect. Yeah, that should go. I was surprised because Prior Lake's a nice area. So, but when I looked at that whole 2-bedroom thing is just I have no buyers that would even look at a 2-bedroom.
Well, it's
You're
really
not
not.
surprising
It's
that it
technically
came
a
down to
4.
price.
Well, but at the same time, it's really a 4-bedroom. The
Jesus.
lower level is an automatic bedroom already with an egress window, but I'm not going to market it that. But the 3-bedroom is extremely easy, and that is a better part of the sell. I mean, a lot of the stuff was not highlighted, but it's okay. I mean, you also just sometimes have to provide data to a seller, and the seller was really open to the idea of the numbers once the data was provided. But I don't have anything signed. It's not officially transferred over, but it was really good conversation yesterday. And it is a really, really well-maintained unit.
Yeah, it looked nice from the pictures, but yeah, there was just no mention about being able to expand it or anything. So I'm happy that that'll finally get some more views, I guess to say.
Yeah.
Was that your listing or you mean you're taking over from another agent?
Taking over for another agent.
Because I mean, yeah, you can find great deals when agents don't do their job of listing everything. And
Well,
make sure
yeah.
that goes like, make sure you have the, accessibility. Sometimes people don't even mark that in the side things, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Accessible and all, and no stair or whatever the situation
Well,
is.
there
that
is
makes such a
stairs,
difference.
right?
Right, but I
There-
mean, the elevator bit is really a
I
big
know.
deal.
I mean,
Um,
it's really a narrow market, but if anybody knew somebody with like a special needs child or a spouse who is in a wheelchair
I don't think
or
that's
is
narrow
in need,
market. That's a lot of people. I mean, a lot of
Well, I
people
know,
want
but I
one
mean, like,
level living, so the elevator helps that.
it does, right? You don't have the one level living, but you have an elevator to help. That's true.
That's a big deal. I mean, that's a big selling point.
I agree. I
Private-
agree. It's a really
private
big
elevator.
selling point.
I had a listing in the Commodore, which is all one level elevator building. And it's a 2-level with a spiral staircase. You can't believe how many people, I mean, that normally it's like, oh, it has stairs. I mean, it wasn't even,
Right.
you'd have agents that wouldn't walk down the stairs. It was crazy.
Right.
I do have a condo coming on that is 1 level and with a balcony in South Maplewood for probably 155. 1 bedroom, 1 bath, and we're redoing. It'll be nice. It'll be pretty. And it has a beautiful park view. Very
Nice.
easy to get, 10 minutes from downtown. Connemara.
Any other upcoming listings or buyer needs? Or Randy, did you wanna maybe how
It's too
how
late
long?
to get into the foreclosure stuff
course.
again. We'll
Yeah.
just have to wait till the meeting.
Yeah,
I
we
mean, it's
only have a couple
9:50 as
minutes
it is.
left.
I'm desperate for a St.
Yeah.
Paul 250 or under. Anybody got one? Let me know. First time home buyer. St. Paul area, 250 or less.
How's
So
their,
you're talking,
how's
so
their
you're
fin-
talking, go ahead.
Liz, how's their financing?
FHA. That's been part of the problem.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough because there are agents who won't list a house FHA that would qualify FHA, which pisses me off. To talk about redlining, right, Marge? People who are just like, it would completely pass FHA. There's no physical issues. If you don't check that it could take an FHA offer, to me, you are eliminating qualified buyers from an opportunity to buy that home. But I am going to properties that are marked FHA with a shit ton of peeling paint. And the agents need to know that, like, even if my client wanted to write an offer, which she does, I have to be like, yeah, but the paint, there's so much peeling paint. Agents, you need to know that if FHA has peeling, if you're going to allow FHA offers, then you have to face the fact that there will be an issue with peeling paint. And that's okay. I'll team effort it with you. I'll get a guy over there to fix it now that the weather's nice, right? We can't do it a couple of months ago. But it drives me nuts that agents will not check a house FHA that legitimately would pass. It would. So
Right.
that's just my soapbox. Just makes me mad.
I had 2 different ones like that back in the foreclosure days. And where the buyers and I went over and actually painted out all the windows on the outside over the peeling paint to get it done. Because the bank couldn't care less and they really wanted the house and it was easy enough to do. But I mean, we had to paint an attic window from the outside, like what child is near, on a ladder.
I know.
To get that stupid. And then another thing, we didn't have one closed because it was FHA and there was a chicken shed in the backyard with peeling paint. And my guy had to go scrape all the paint and paint in the rain, took that paint to hazardous waste and they go, why are you bringing it here? They were like, well, we'll put it in the trash. So it's like, it's such bullshit.
I know.
Maybe Thomas Dussler and somebody's favorite loan officer can go over FHA criteria. I think a lot of agents really don't know.
I can
Well, I
reach
think-
out to him and see what he's got, if he's got a meeting. I think he does his meetings Tuesdays as well, but maybe he can step out for a minute and go over it.
I think you could have a quiz with agents, even in our brokerage, and ask them if they think FHA stands for first time home buyer. Like people don't even know what it means.
You know, I like the fact that sometimes things go both ways. I mean, I use the example so many times that I had a house that shouldn't have qualified the way it was. I wrote the offer for the buyers, just, you know, basically I said, you know, we'll throw it out there, but it's the middle of winter. The whole house has three colors of paint on it, that much peeling. And the garage was just like, I mean, you touch it and it's gonna flake off, you know, type of scenario.
Right.
They had no way that they'd be able to bring that much money to the table for the escrow. When they looked at, when the appraiser did it, they said $50 for paint on the garage, escrow, and that's all it'll take for summertime.
That was nice.
I'm like, are you kidding? You know, as far as, it's a nice example and stuff to bring to any buyer saying, hey, you never know what's going to happen. Same
Yep.
type of scenario. I was selling a house and just, you know, on the bottom of the door, it was 30 below weather. The appraiser went out there and they're like, they have to paint it. I'm like, you know, it's ridiculous what people are going to call sometimes as an appraiser. You know, so, you know, it's like, you know, they're going to have to repaint it 30 below weather when you're closing. So, you know, I just bring that to each of my buyers and sellers that you never know what they're going to call. Go ahead and
I know.
make an offer, take the offers, see what's going to happen.
I
And
agree,
don't be
Dennis.
afraid to look and call the agent. If you think it might, from the photos, you think it might go FHA, call and ask, because I bought my farm with a loan and FHA. No, we were conventional, but that place was a land purchase and they wanted cash only. And I was able to get that through Bremer Bank as a loan. And I had a hard money lender say nobody would lend me money for it. So, you know, just, you really, if you know what you want and you know how to try hard, you can get it.
I agree.
Perfect.
I had a
Well,
client who sold their house and the offer was FHA, and we were panicking because they converted to FHA like a week before closing. They went to FHA from conventional, and the appraiser called me and asked me to take a few photos because they were too busy to do the appraisal in person.
Good for you.
And
Wow.
we got it done with peeling paint windows. So I don't think that'll happen as often as it did in the you know, insanity time, but I was like, yeah, I'll gladly take those pictures for you.
I love it.
Well, thanks again for a great meeting, everyone.
Before everybody goes real quick, anybody have a social media marketing person that you'd recommend that needs some work? I am looking for somebody to replace mine who recently moved on to a new job. So if anybody has anybody
Yvonne
who
Delgado's
creates,
person.
I reached out to them. Yep. I just want to compare and contrast, but I agree with you, Randy. I just got their data and their information. I just don't have any examples of their work. That's all I wanted them to share, but yes. Yeah.
What do you,
Anybody else
You know, it's
got
easier
just
for
out of
you guys
curiosity?
because you're dealing with just buyers and sellers. I will send you one more referral that you can decide. It's a company that's kind of worldwide. It's $100 less a month, but you can pick. So I'll forward you that
I've got-
information too.
Yeah, I've got somebody to send you.
Okay. Yeah, I used to pay
Company.
my girl $250. I used to pay my girl $250 a month. I know they vary between. I got somebody who wants me to pay them $500 a month. That's too much
Yep, I've
to
got
sit at your
somebody
house
that's
and make
under,
images.
somebody who's under 200.
Thanks,
It's a
Marge. Yeah,
company.
send them over, please. Thanks.
Okay.
I'm hiring a VA starting Thursday. First time I've used this company. I'll let everybody know if it works out. Let you know how it goes. I have a virtual
Yeah, I would.
assistant.
Yeah, if you recommend them, please call me.
I will, Andrew, for sure. Yeah,
Something to help my sanity with working all the time.
I know. No kidding, man. You're super busy.
Yeah.
Thank you for the info on Wisconsin, Amy and Jeremy. And before
Yep,
we close,
keep an eye out
I'm
for
gonna
that
look into
email.
that right now.
Yep, I would keep an eye out for that email. Like Jeremy said, there's going to be that 35% off tomorrow through CE Shop. So definitely take advantage of that. You can use those codes for any of their classes. So as I highly recommend CE Shop, just with their ease of access and the flexibility that they have with everything is really
Yep,
nice.
I've used them before.
The last quick call out for everyone. I've used it. You know, it's expensive, but if you're in a pinch, it's worth that Xiaomi.
Yeah, I like showing me.
Yeah.
I do too, Andrew.
Yeah, and it I mean, somebody picks up that showing very, very quickly. So it's, again, kind of helped my sanity. And if you're in a pinch, it's not cheap, but it helps.
We also do have a
Andrew,
lot of new agents that are looking for experience. So definitely reach out on Agent Connect as well. Because then you're also keeping it in our network. And some of those people are on there all the time, like, hey, what can I do? What can I do? So
Yeah, I would agree. Like if somebody's newer and hungry and ready to go.
If anybody needs
Andrew,
a
I
showing
got
in the
some
St.
names for
Cloud
you.
area, I'll definitely take it.
Awesome.
Actually, yeah. Andrew, I've got a few names of local people I've used that I really like if you want
Yeah,
to.
you
want me to
sent me
send over some
some.
names.
You sent me some. One's your
Okay.
photographer, maybe. I was back and forth with
Well,
him.
he's not my photographer. He's actually a real estate agent that also does photography, and he works
Okay.
for a different brokerage, but he
Got
is a very professional guy. He's
Is he?
great.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was back and forth with me, so he's good. So I've got his contact info saved too.
Yeah. I've used Perryman, Teresa. Yeah, I've got like 4 or 5 in my pocket I use for all over this Twin Cities.
perfect.
Awesome.
Well, we're wrapping up on 10 o'clock here. It was a great conversation, everybody, today, and we'll get to the short sales and pre-foreclosures another time. But otherwise, I want to wish everybody a great week and get those houses sold.
Next week.
Thanks, Amy.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.